I am the Lonely Necron, and welcome to my basement. So, the Night Lords have flown overhead and seen a portal with some Necrons kind of loitering around doing weird mechanical Necron things. So, a sizable force of Night Lords has arrived to perhaps capture said portal and maybe plunder the depths, but at the very least, they're here to definitely kill some Xenos. For the Necron's part, this is just kind of a maintenance hatch, but you know what? Let's kill some humans while they're so itching to die because their lives are tiny and puny and short and dumb. So we've got this hill looking thing here, portal on top. The portal is non-functional as a teleportation device, so it's strictly these Necrons. We've got 3 Locust Heavy Destroyers, 2 with the God's Destructor, 1 with the Enmitic Exterminator, 2 Annihilation Barges. This one has a Gauss Cannon, and this one has a Tesla Cannon, 2 Doomsday Arcs, and a Canoptic Doomstalker. We have 3 Hexmark Destroyers kind of waiting in the teleport area if these guys get in trouble. So for the Chaos side, okay, it's kind of complicated, but not really. So we've got a bunch of proxy rhinos that don't have any weapons, they're just crappy transports, and then an actual rhino, 3 bikers, 2 greater possessed, a venom crawler, a chaos knight desecrator, and I know it looks like Fabius Bile, but we're gonna pretend that he's a worksmith because this knight dies a lot otherwise. So yeah, if you see him, he's really just this guy's mechanic. So inside the real Rhino, we have a Master of Possession, a Master of Executions, a Dark Apostle, a Chaos Lord, and a Sorcerer. And then inside the fake crappy transport rhinos, we have 10 cultists, a squad of 10 Space Marines with an autocannon, and the Aspiring Champion has a Power Fist and a Plasma Pistol. Then we have another 10-man squad of Chaos Space Marines with a Plasma Gun, a Heavy Bolter, and the Aspiring Champion just has a Chainsword and a Plasma Pistol. And then the last crappy Rhino has an 8-man squad of Chaos Space Marines with a Flamer, and the Aspiring Champion has a Chain Axe and a Plasma Pistol. And then finally, in their own teleportarium kind of thing, we have 5 Warp Talons and a couple of Obliterators, and then a Demon Prince of Slaanesh just waiting to be summoned in. So yeah, I have high hopes. So I'm gonna set up deployment, and then I'm gonna start rolling some dice and killing some humans. I'm looking forward to it. So got the Annihilation Barge, one of the God's Destructor Heavy Destroyers, Doomsday Arc up on the portal area, along with the other Doomsday Arc, Doomstalker on this side, Enmitic Exterminator, Destroyer, then the other Annihilation Barge and the other God's Destructor. And then on Chaos, we have all of the crappy fake rhinos, the real rhino, venom crawler, greater possessed over there. And then the knight with the proxy warpsmith kind of hugging on his leg with the bikers in front. So attackers go first. So Chaos, round 1, movement. So everything advanced except for the Chaos Knight. So everybody is just moving on up in a line across the field here. The only person that's in range to shoot is the Knight Desecrator. His Heavy Stubber can't shoot anything, but his Laser Destructor sure can, so definitely going to shoot something with it. Well, he shot at the Canoptic Doomstalker and hit it but failed to wound. Nobody can really charge, so that'll take us over to the Necron turn. The Annihilation Barges have just moved out kind of in front there to start punishing things, and the Heavy Destroyers have just coalesced into the center area here to start doing some overshooting. The Doomstalker and Arcs are just going to stay where they are. So now my favorite phase, Necron shooting. That was a rough phase for Chaos. Between the two Annihilation Barges and this Heavy Destroyer, there was no longer a biker squad. This Doomstalker did a little bit of damage to this Rhino right here. The Doomsday Arc up here on the left destroyed this Rhino here, and one of the guys died when he was trying to get out of it. Stopped to pick up the chain sword or something. And then the far Doomsday Arc did some decent damage to this transport Rhino. So yeah, that was nice. I feel some decent satisfaction out of that. None of these guys are melee, so it's Chaos's turn. Movement. So all of the transport defenseless Rhinos just advanced forward as far as they could and tried to block the Annihilation Barges, I guess, from shooting at further things, maybe. Everything else except for the Knight and the Venom Crawler advanced forward as far as they could. Yeah, Psychics aren't on the field, per se, so shooting phase. The Venom Crawler attacked this Annihilation Barge and missed everything. The Knight dumped its Heavy Stubber, I think, and its Laser Destructor into it. And the Laser Destructor did a lot of damage, but the Heavy Stubber thing did not. Yeah, no, I really don't want to try and charge a Greater Possessed into an Annihilation Barge at this exact point in time, so we're going to go ahead and say it's the Necron's turn. Well, it turns out there's really no need for the Necrons to move because all of their victims have chosen to come forward to meet them and die properly. I appreciate that personally. So yeah, we'll do the Necron shooting phase and try and grant these poor stupid humans their wish of dying properly. Yeah, that was kind of actually impressive. So the Annihilation Barges here dumped a bunch of shots into the Rhinos that used to be here, which kind of weakened them down really far. And then this Doomsday Arc up here finished off this Rhino, and then the other Doomsday Arc over there finished off this Rhino. Each one lost a couple of guys in the explosion, and other than that, nothing major really happened. A lot of shots that were fired, and a lot of shots that really just didn't do anything at all, which was unsatisfying. But, you know, two dead transports, I'm down with that. So yeah, no melee, so Chaos's turn. So for Chaos, everybody just kind of moved up, nobody advanced. The Obliterators dropped down, one on that side over there, kind of going after this Doomsday Arc. One on this side over here to start taking out these guys. The Psychers haven't hopped out yet, so Chaos shooting. Well, the Chaos Space Marines definitely put in some work. All of the infantry managed to score minor one wound hits here and there on the Annihilation Barges, bringing them dangerously close to zero, but not quite there. Everybody else just shot and missed. Sad face. But there is hope. These Greater Possessed, at least one of them, is definitely going to charge that Annihilation Barge. And these Chaos Space Marines are also going to charge this Annihilation Barge, so here we go on that. Both the Greater Possessed and the Chaos Space Marines survived Overwatch and got both the barges down to one hit each. Well, they've got one wound left each. So that was some craziness. So that being said, we go to the Necron turn. Yay, living metal, getting a life back. The only thing that happens movement-wise for the Necrons is the Annihilation Barges have just fallen back. I don't see it as necessary to bring in the hex marks just yet. Maybe when these guys cross this line area right here. I don't know. We'll see how I feel at the end of the shooting phase as to whether I made a mistake or not. But it is the shooting phase. Well, it wasn't a flashy phase, but there was definitely some good experiences there. So the Doomsday Arc over here did a couple points of damage to the Obliterator, but he did 6 points of damage to the Chaos Knight. And this Doomsday Arc did a couple points of damage to the Obliterator, but he did 10 points of damage to the Chaos Knight. And this Doomstalker, he did a couple of points to the Chaos Knight. He's sitting pretty at 4 health right now. Yep, he's definitely going to need a Warpsmith now. I really do need to buy an actual Warpsmith. All that being said, it's Chaos's turn, so yay, Warpsmith, healing. Healing D3 wounds sucks when you roll a 1. Alright, so yeah, Chaos movement. Everything has moved resoundingly up, and we even have a breach or 2 here, so probably see some hex marks here in a minute. Otherwise, everything moved up. The knight moved up very slowly, but he did move up. So yeah, we'll go into Chaos shooting. Well, it did take a while, but this squad of Chaos Space Marines did manage to destroy the Annihilation Barge that was here. And the Chaos Knight killed off the Heavy Destroyer with the Enmitic Exterminator that was here. Other than that, everyone else shot at pretty much that Annihilation Barge and didn't do much of anything. So, charging... I don't know. Yeah, no, we're not going to charge this turn. So, yeah, that'll go to the Necron turn. So, nothing on this side of the line actually moved, but 3 Hexmark Destroyers did indeed drop down behind enemy lines here, so hopefully that will turn the tables, at least on these squads. With that in mind, it'll be the Necron shooting turn. Well, it took the concerted effort of both Doomsday Arcs, the Doomstalker, and this Heavy Destroyer, but they managed to kill off the Chaos Knight. It did take a while. This Heavy Destroyer destroyed the Rhino here, and it killed the Dark Apostle as he was trying to escape. He really got caught up in his robes, because, yeah. The Hexmarks did a lot of damage. They kind of wounded this Warpsmith. They killed 7 out of the guys that were over... No, they killed 5. Killed 5 of the guys that were over here, and the other 2 ran, so might as well have killed 7. Yeah. So that'll put it at the Chaos turn. Okay, so everybody pretty much moved up. The Master of Possession summoned in a Demon Prince of Slaanesh, and some Warp Talons landed over here near this far Hexmark. We have Psychics on the field. That means I can cast Smite. I like Smite. Okay, so the Sorcerer cast Infernal Gaze. It went off, and now the Annihilation Barge is destroyed. So yeah, that happened. Okay, fair enough. So Chaos shooting. Alright, so this Obliterator did a couple of points of damage to the Doomstalker. And the Obliterator over here did a decent amount of damage to the Doomsday Arc. Pardon me. Other than that, nobody else hit anything that they shot at, so that'll take us to the charge phase. This Greater Possessed is definitely going to charge into that Heavy Destroyer. And these Warp Talons are going to try and charge into this Hexmark Destroyer. Super sad face. So the Warp Talons tried to charge in, failed to make their distance, and lost 1 to Overwatch. Over here, the Greater Possessed actually got wounded in Overwatch and managed to save. but didn't do any damage in his attack. In response, I guess the heavy destroyer failed to butt him with his gun. I guess he can't really butt him. He failed to stab him with the pointy stuff in front there. It's not really a bayonet. Is that like the energy thing or whatever? This weird little. I mean, it's almost like there's a bayonet under there, but I don't know. So yeah, that was the charge phase, fight phase. So that takes us over to the Necron turn. All right, so for Necron movement, this heavy destroyer just fell back, and these hexmark destroyers are just getting closer to these guys. So that'll take us on over to Necron shooting. Okay, that was actually kind of exciting for me. These three hexmarks kind of ganged up on the Venom Crawler and the Warpsmith, and they're both dead. This Doomsday Arc used its gauze array and killed off the Obliterator that was down here. And then it turned around and... oh yeah, it missed completely with its thingy. This one also used its gauze flare array to kill the Obliterator that was near it. And then it killed the Master of Possessions with its big-ass gun. This guy fell back and couldn't do anything. This guy killed a couple of Space Marines. One. This guy's gauze thing actually killed a couple of Space Marines. And that was pretty much it. So we'll go over to Chaos's turn. Alright, so the Chaos Cultists have disembarked from their little rhino thing. The Warp Talons have moved up to start threatening the Hexmarks. Pretty much all of the rest of the forces have moved up onto this little hill thing here, with the exception of this Greater Possessed. And yeah. So we'll go into the very short psychic phase. The Sorcerer cast Infernal Gaze on this destroyer, doing a pointed 1 mortal wound to him. So we'll go into Chaos Shooting. So with the combined efforts of this entire squad, they killed off the last of the heavy... well, they killed off this lower gauze destroyer guy here. And the Chaos Lord used his plasma pistol to do a point of damage. No. I must be tired. He used his plasma pistol and missed. That's what happened. Charging. There will be charges. That Greater Possessed into the Heavy Destroyer. These Space Marines into the Doomstalker. The Warp Talons into the Hexmark. Some pretty amazing rolls on Overwatch there. So the Hexmark killed all of the Warp Talons in Overwatch. This Heavy Destroyer killed the Greater Possessed in Overwatch. And these Chaos Space Marines lost one Space Marine in Overwatch, but did get in. Failed to do anything about it, and then of course, the Doomstalker failed to do anything to them, so... overall, that was kind of bad for Chaos. So, yeah. Going over to the Necron turn. So, the Hexmarks just moved a lot closer, and the Doomstalker fell back. So, Necron shooting. Alright, so this Hexmark killed a couple of these Space Marines. This Hexmark killed a bunch of these Space Marines. And this Hexmark killed off all the cultists. The Heavy Destroyer killed the Chaos Lord. The Doomsday Arc did a whole lot of damage to this Sorcerer, but it killed the Greater Possessed first with its Doomsday gun. He fell back and couldn't do anything, and he really can't see anybody. Necron's still not going to charge, so that makes it Chaos's turn. I guess I didn't realize how little there was left of Chaos. So this Aspiring Champion just moved forward. This small group of Space Marines moved up onto the hill, and the Sorcerer advanced to get up onto the hill. So we'll do his Psychic Power, which will be probably Infernal Gaze into the Destroyer here. Well, he did cast Infernal Gaze, but he did no damage. So we'll go to Necrons. Ah, wow, I must be tired. I apologize now for the several slips that I have made, but soldier on. So this guy failed to hit against the Doomstalker. The bolt guns and the plasma pistol failed to hit anything, but the autocannon hit but didn't wound on the heavy destroyer. So yeah, this guy's gonna do a suicidal charge into the Doomstalker. It was indeed a suicidal charge. While he missed him with his Gaza Ray, he did indeed hit twice with his Doomsday weapon, so he most definitely immolated that guy. So with that being done, it'll go over to the Necron turn. Alright, so there was some living metal health gain going on. These hex marks have come way up here on the backside of these guys, and they're probably going to finish them off. And the Doomstalker moved forward to maybe help finish them off. So we'll go into shooting. Well, it took all 3 hex marks to take out the Space Marines, and then the Heavy Destroyer took out the Sorcerer. So the Necrons win, but they almost didn't win. They got really close down. I didn't expect the Annihilation Barges to go as quick as they did. Yeah. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you watching. My girlfriend did get me a video camera for Christmas, so probably most of the videos that I put out from now on will be filmed on that. I'll probably still do some on the phone camera just because it's nostalgic, and I figure there's probably going to be a couple games that I'm just not going to be able to use the camera for. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, if you made it this far, I appreciate it, and have a good morning.